Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. Today, we're going to drift way, way back, farther than you've probably ever imagined before. We're going to look at the Big Bang. Not just the moment itself, but everything that came before it and after it. Well, as much as we can imagine anyway, because this isn't just a science lesson. This is a journey. So, let's float together into the dark. It's quiet out here, peaceful, kind of like a dream where the whole universe is holding its breath. If you like listening to quiet stories about space and stars, please tap the like button. It helps others find this peaceful place too. And if you want to come back for more calm journeys through the universe, please like and subscribe. Enjoy what I do here. And let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from and what time it is for you. It's always fascinating to see who's joining us from around the world. Now, let's start at the strangest place we possibly can. Not a place, really, and not even a time. Let's start with nothing. Can you picture it? Probably not. Our brains like stuff. We like pictures, sounds, textures. We like edges and beginnings and ends. But before the Big Bang, there was none of that. No stars, no planets, no light, no time ticking away, no distance to measure. Just nothing. Not even a blank canvas. Not even silence. Because silence needs time and space and ears. There was just an absence of everything. Now, I want you to try something. Imagine holding out your hands, not here on Earth, out there, in the nothing. Stretch your fingers wide. Can you feel anything? Of course not. But now imagine that, right between your palms, something stirs. A flicker, a pressure, a kind of potential, like a sneeze you can feel but can't release. And then, in a moment so fast it doesn't even feel like a moment, everything begins. Bang. Only, it's not the kind of bang you might expect. There's no explosion in space, because space itself is the thing that's exploding, expanding, stretching outward faster than anything ever has before. This isn't like fireworks or a balloon popping. This is the fabric of everything bursting into being, and you're right there, watching it happen. At first, it's not hot in the way we think of heat. It's beyond heat. It's a boiling ocean of energy so dense and wild it doesn't even know what it's doing yet. The laws that will one day shape galaxies and stars and you and me, they're not even fully written. It's chaos, but a beautiful, glowing kind of chaos. Now, as we drift into this newborn universe, you might notice it's kind of hard to see anything. That's because, for a while, light itself can't move freely. It's bumping into particles every second. Imagine trying to walk through a crowded room where everyone's wearing coats made of magnets. Every time you try to move, you get pulled in 100 directions. That's what it's like for light right now. But let's not rush ahead. Let's float here for a bit longer. The universe, just after its beginning, is small. So small you could fit it in the palm of your hand. But it's growing wildly, furiously. In fact, it's growing so fast that if you tried to blink, you'd miss it doubling in size, then doubling again, over and over. This is what scientists sometimes call inflation, but you don't have to remember that. Just imagine blowing up a balloon, only instead of getting bigger slowly, it jumps from marble-sized to galaxy-sized before you can even finish a breath. Now, all that expansion slows down a bit, like a sprinter who suddenly realizes they've got a marathon ahead of them. The universe doesn't stop, but it relaxes, cools a little. Just enough that particles start to calm down too. Picture tiny bits of matter too small to see, but still very real starting to form. Protons, neutrons, electrons. Think of them as the Lego bricks of everything. And at first, they're kind of just floating around like confetti in a storm. But soon, they start to pair up, join forces. They're building atoms, the very first atoms. Right about now, the universe is just a few minutes old. Can you believe that? Just minutes after everything began, the ingredients for everything that will ever exist, stars, oceans, pine trees, chocolate cake, and your own thoughts, they're all already in motion. And none of it needed blueprints. Just a little time, and a lot of energy. Now let's keep drifting. The universe is still way too hot and crowded for light to go anywhere. So even though there's stuff forming, it's still hidden behind a thick, glowing fog, like standing in the middle of a thundercloud made of fire. But let's skip ahead a little. Imagine about 380, 0 years have passed. That might sound like a lot, But for the universe, that's still babyhood. It's just learning how to sit up and smile. And something amazing is about to happen. The fog begins to clear. For the first time, light can stretch its arms and run. It can travel without getting tackled by every particle it meets. This light is ancient. It's the oldest light you'll ever see. And even though we can't see it with our eyes, we can feel it. Scientists call it the cosmic microwave background. But let's not worry about names. Let's just call it what it is. The universe's baby photo. Now, reach out with your mind. Feel the warmth of that first light. It's gentle now, just a whisper, like the fading glow of a campfire long after midnight, but it's still here, around us. Through us, a background hum in the quiet of space. As light begins to travel, it starts painting the first picture of the universe. Still mostly empty, still waiting. But now it's possible to see the future beginning to form. Clusters of matter are starting to clump together. Not stars yet, not even close. But the seeds are there, little knots of stuff, pulled together by something quiet and invisible, gravity. Imagine walking through a dark forest where the trees haven't grown yet, but you can already feel the roots twisting underground. That's what these clumps of matter are like. You can't see the trees yet, but you can feel the future in the soil. As we drift farther, billions of years begin to pass. The universe is expanding all the while, stretching, cooling, waiting. And inside those little knots of matter where things are just a bit denser than the space around them, gravity gets to work, pulling, pressing, heating. And then, one day, somewhere in that deep dark, a light flickers on. A star is born. It doesn't roar or shout. It doesn't call attention to itself, but it glows, brilliant and soft, like the first candle in a room that's waited an eternity to be lit. Imagine being there, floating nearby as a cloud of gas collapses in on itself and begins to shine from the heat of its own pressure. You don't need to understand the science. Just feel it, the warmth, the wonder, a star, fresh from the oven of the universe. Now the lights are coming on everywhere. Stars are popping up across the cosmos like campfires in a vast wilderness. And just like campfires, some of them burn quietly, and some flare up wildly and explode in spectacular fashion. The first stars are huge, enormous. They burn hot and fast like fireworks, and they don't last long. But when they die, oh, the gifts they leave behind. In their final moments they explode, not in sadness but in generosity. Their deaths scatter new elements, carbon, oxygen, iron out into the cosmos, pieces of future worlds, pieces of you. You might not think of yourself as ancient, but the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen you breathe, it was all forged in stars like these, long before the Earth, long before any planet, long before life. Those exploding stars were the universe's first artists, sculpting the materials that would one day become everything. So, next time you look at your hand, just remember, you're made of stardust, real stardust. And that's not just a pretty phrase, it's a fact, whispered gently across billions of years. Let's float a little farther now, because this is only the beginning. Let's keep drifting, you and I, through the gentle tide of time. The stars are blooming now, more and more of them, gathering into grand families, what we call galaxies. From a distance, they look like soft swirls of powdered light, like glowing pinwheels spinning slowly in the dark. They aren't still, though. They're racing away from one another, tugged by the fabric of space itself. And yet, somehow, they form shapes, spirals, ellipses, big blobs of stars pressed together by invisible hands. Now imagine you and I are floating between two young galaxies. There's no sound out here, just a deep, velvety silence. But you can feel motion, like a gentle pull at your chest. It's space expanding, not pushing things apart with a bang, but stretching everything like warm taffy in all directions. The galaxies aren't flying through space, they're being carried by it. And here's the funny part. The more distant a galaxy is, the faster it's moving away. It's not trying to escape. That's just what the universe does. It's still growing, even now. Even as you sit here listening, the space between everything is still expanding, quietly, constantly. Let's go closer to one of those galaxies now. We'll pick a small one, a little cluster of stars curling softly at the edge of a larger swirl. And inside it, among the flickering suns and drifting dust, let's visit a special place, a nursery. Not for babies like us, but for stars. Here, huge clouds of gas are collapsing under their own weight. When they do, new stars are born, shining quietly into the dark. Some will live billions of years. Others will live just a few million, burning hot and bright before they burst. Around them, disks of dust are spinning tiny crumbs caught in the whirl, and some of those crumbs are sticking together. They're building planets. Imagine watching a world being formed, a slow dance of rocks and ice, crashing and sticking, tumbling and spinning. It's messy, chaotic, but it works. Over millions of years, a planet takes shape. Maybe it's covered in oceans. Maybe it's all desert. Maybe it's a gas giant swirling with storms larger than Earth. Or maybe, just maybe, it's something like our home. Let's drift toward that one. It's young, hot, and violent. Volcanoes roar. Lightning crackles across thick clouds. Comets rain down. But slowly, it cools. Water gathers in pools. Chemistry stirs. And in the blink of a cosmic eye, life begins. It doesn't look like anything you know at first. Just simple molecules bumping into each other in puddles. But give it time. A lot of time. Those tiny building blocks start copying themselves. Some make mistakes, and those mistakes, sometimes, help. Eventually, they grow more complex. Cells learn to cooperate. Some form tiny jellyfish. Some turn into worms, fish, insects, trees, dinosaurs, birds, and one very strange creature begins to wonder. That's you. You sitting there, listening to this story. You are one of the universe's ways of looking back at itself. A tiny piece of star stuff, with thoughts and feelings and curiosity. That's no small thing. Now, as we float here together, I want you to think about that journey. From nothing to everything. From a glowing fog to galaxies spinning like dancers. From atoms to oceans. From darkness to you. And it's not over. The universe is still expanding, still changing. Some stars are being born as we speak. Others are dying. Galaxies are still colliding. Black holes are merging. Light is still traveling through space, carrying stories written in starlight. We've only just begun. So let's keep floating. Let's drift past ancient quasars, bright beacons at the edge of time, fed by monstrous black holes that once devoured everything in sight. Let's sail past galaxies that formed just 1 billion years after the Big Bang, their shapes a little messier than the ones we know now. Let's pass nebulae, colourful clouds of gas and dust, glowing with the echoes of newborn stars. Let's move through starfields so dense, the sky would never be dark. And even out here, there's a feeling, not just emptiness, a quiet motion, a rhythm. It's the heartbeat of the cosmos, soft, subtle, but steady. Everything we see, everything we touch, began with that one moment, the moment that wasn't a moment, when time itself began. And that moment never really ended. It's still going, right now, inside you, around you. So wherever you are sitting in bed, walking down a quiet street, lying under the stars, know that you are part of that beginning, part of that wild, glorious unfolding. The Big Bang isn't just something that happened a long time ago. It's still echoing, still building, still whispering new possibilities into the dark. So here we are, somewhere between the past and the present, drifting through a universe that's still very much alive. Stars twinkle softly behind us. Galaxies spin in slow, elegant spirals. Everything is moving even if it feels still. The cosmos is like a quiet symphony, playing on and on, whether anyone's listening or not. But you and I, we're listening. Now imagine turning around and seeing your own galaxy from far, far away. The Milky Way. It's not just a name from science books. It's real. And it's beautiful. A glowing disk of hundreds of billions of stars, like a silver pinwheel turning ever so gently in the darkness. And tucked away in one of the spiral arms, not too flashy, not too quiet, is a little yellow star. Just one of many, but it's our star, our sun. Let's get closer. We float toward it like curious travelers, feeling the warmth without heat, the glow without glare. Around this little sun are planets, some big, some small, some icy, some rocky. And there's one, blue and bright, with swirling clouds and sparkling oceans. Earth, our home. From up here it looks peaceful, serene. You can't see the traffic, or the emails, or the socks that went missing in the laundry. Just one world, spinning slowly through the cosmos, wrapped in a thin, fragile blanket of air, a tiny oasis in a vast and silent sea. And every piece of it, every tree, every river, every mountain and cat and sandwich and person, is a result of that long, long journey from the Big Bang. It's wild, isn't it? That atoms formed in the first few minutes of time, drifted through space for billions of years, got pulled into stars, exploded, became dust, floated through galaxies, joined together in clouds, formed. A planet, made oceans, and eventually, somehow, turned into you. That's not a metaphor. That's what actually happened. Now I want you to look down at your hands for a moment, or just imagine them. Every atom there, every bit of you, was once inside a star. Some of them might have even come from different stars. You're a collection of borrowed stardust, assembled carefully over time, thinking thoughts, feeling feelings, and listening to a quiet voice talking about the universe. And the story keeps going. Because the universe doesn't stop. It doesn't have an ending, not yet. Galaxies will keep drifting apart. Stars will keep being born and dying. Planets will keep spinning. And maybe, just maybe, more creatures like us will start to wonder. We'll start to look up. We'll start to ask, where did all this come from? Maybe, somewhere else out there, another voice is telling a story like this one. Maybe someone is floating through their own quiet corner of space, imagining the beginning, just like we are now. Or maybe not. Maybe we're the only ones for now. The universe is big, bigger than big, too big for even our wildest guesses. There could be other Earths out there, or we could be alone in this vast darkness. And either way, it's kind of beautiful, isn't it? Now, let's drift forward in time, past the age of Earth, past the present. What comes next? Well, the stars will continue to shine for a while, a long while, some for billions of years more, but eventually, they'll begin to go out, one by one. The small ones will fade slowly into cold, dim embers. The big ones will collapse or explode. Some will become white dwarfs glowing cinders. Some will become black holes, silent, invisible giants. The galaxies too will keep moving apart. One day, very far from now, so far that numbers don't quite help, the night sky from Earth might look emptier than it does now. Galaxies will drift too far to see. The universe will grow colder, darker, quieter. But even then, not empty. Because the story of the Big Bang isn't just about beginnings. It's about becoming, about change, about what happens next. There will still be gravity, still be particles drifting. There will still be time. And who knows, maybe someday, far beyond anything we can imagine, the universe will surprise us again. Maybe it will recycle itself. Maybe it will start over. Or maybe it will just keep drifting, slower and softer, until every last star has sung its last note. But that moment, that quiet ending is still unimaginably far away. Right now, we are alive, in the middle of everything, sitting on a tiny planet in a universe born from nothing, made of everything, still writing its story. And for just a little while, we get to look around. We get to wonder. We get to be curious stardust that knows it's stardust. That's something special. So thank you for coming on this journey with me. Thank you for floating through space and time, through light and silence, through beginnings and questions. We may be small, but our story is huge. And it all started with one impossible moment. All right, let's gently push off from the quiet shores of now and float onward. You've probably heard people say that space is empty, that it's nothing but a big black void, but that's not quite right. Space isn't empty. It's full of mystery. It's full of stories. It's full of invisible threads that stretch between stars, holding galaxies together, even as they try to drift apart. Imagine reaching out to grasp that fabric, that invisible scaffolding. You wouldn't feel anything, not in the way we normally feel things, but it's there. It's the subtle pull that keeps stars in their dance, that forms those graceful spirals we see when we look at galaxies. Without it, everything would just drift into cold, scattered isolation. But with it, we get structure, we get beauty. Now, back when the universe was young and stars had only just started flickering to life, galaxies were just beginning to take shape. Imagine vast clouds of gas and dust spinning gently under gravity's guidance, forming glowing cities of stars. Not one or two, but billions, trillions. And they weren't sitting still. Oh no. These galaxies were moving. Still are, actually. Even right now, the Milky Way, the one we're in, is moving through space at over 1,000,000 miles per hour, and you don't even feel it. No wind in your hair, no sudden lurch, no noise. Just the slow, silent motion of everything, always in motion. Let's go back in time for a moment again. I want you to picture a particular patch of sky, just a tiny one, maybe the size of a grain of sand held at arm's length. Looks empty, right? Now imagine pointing a telescope at that tiny patch and just waiting, not for minutes, not even hours, but days, just letting the telescope drink in the light, little by little, photon by photon. And when you finally look at the image, expecting darkness, you see galaxies, thousands of them, layer upon layer, stretching back through time. Some of the light from those galaxies has been traveling for over 13 billion years just to reach us. That means when you look at them, you're not seeing them as they are now. You're seeing them as they were when the universe was still young, still learning how to build stars and worlds. Light is funny that way. It carries messages, but it takes its time. That image, the one from that tiny patch of sky, is one of the most humbling and breathtaking things we've ever created. It tells us something we should always remember. Even in the places that seem empty, the universe is full of stories, full of surprises, full of light, just waiting to be seen. And speaking of surprises, let's talk about something a little weirder, something that doesn't quite behave like anything else, something that seems to tug at the universe in ways we don't fully understand. We call it dark energy. Now don't worry, we're not going to get too technical, but I want you to imagine this. You're holding a balloon, and you give it a little puff of air. It starts to expand, slowly. You expect it to slow down as it stretches, right? But instead, it starts speeding up. It keeps inflating faster and faster, even though you've stopped blowing. That's a little like what's happening to the universe right now. It's expanding, but not just expanding, accelerating. Something is pushing it, gently but firmly, apart. Galaxies are racing away from each other, and the space between them is stretching faster and faster. This quiet, mysterious force is like a whisper behind the scenes, encouraging the universe to spread its wings just a little more each second. We don't really know what it is. We just know it's there. It makes up most of the energy in the universe, and yet we can't touch it, can't bottle it, can't even see it. And then there's dark matter, a different kind of mystery. Imagine watching a merry-go-round. The horses on the outside are moving faster than the ones near the center. That's just how spinning works. But when we look at galaxies, the stars on the edges are moving way faster than they should. It's like someone added invisible mass, something we can't see, but can feel through its gravity. This dark matter is everywhere, wrapping galaxies in a kind of ghostly halo. It doesn't shine, it doesn't glow, but it's there, like scaffolding hidden under a sheet. Without it, galaxies would fly apart, but with it, they hold together, balanced on an unseen dance floor. We don't know exactly what dark matter is, either. But we do know this. If the universe were a cake, the stuff we can see, stars, planets, people, pizza, would only be about 5% of the ingredients. The rest, dark matter and dark energy. Invisible, mysterious, but absolutely essential. Now, you might be wondering, what happens to all this in the end? It's a good question, and the truth is, we're not sure. The universe doesn't come with an instruction manual, but there are a few possibilities. If gravity is strong enough, maybe the universe will stop expanding one day. Maybe it'll slow down, then collapse back in on itself like a breath taken in reverse. That's sometimes called the Big Crunch. Or maybe the universe will keep expanding forever, growing colder and darker as stars burn out, galaxies drift away, and black holes evaporate. A slow, quiet fading called the heat death. There's even a third possibility, a more dramatic one, where the acceleration driven by dark energy becomes too much, where even atoms get pulled apart in a final moment called the Big Rip. That one's a little unsettling, but again, we're talking trillions of years from now. There's no need to worry about it over breakfast. For now, we're here, in the middle of it all, and the universe? it's still telling its story. Let's rest here for a moment. Just float, breathe in the stillness. You're not just a passenger in this story, you're part of it, made of it. Your atoms were formed in stars, your breath carries ancient particles, and your thoughts, even the silly ones, are little sparks in a cosmos that began from nothing. That's worth pausing for. Imagine now, a place where gravity becomes so strong that not even light can escape. A place where space itself bends and twists into something almost magical. This is a black hole. But it's not the scary monster it's often made out to be. It's more like a mysterious doorway, a region where the rules as we know them start to blur. Picture yourself floating just outside the edge, the event horizon, the point of no return. If you crossed it, you'd be pulled in forever, unable to escape. But just here, right on the edge, you can see the universe stretching out before you in strange ways. Time seems to slow down, light bends around you, and the stars behind you twist into shimmering arcs. It's like standing on the edge of a great cosmic waterfall. The water pulls relentlessly, but there's beauty in the flow. And inside? Well, inside the black hole lies a mystery, a point where everything collapses into something unimaginably small called a singularity. We can't see it. We don't know exactly what happens there. It's the universe's biggest secret. Now, here's a twist for you. Black holes aren't just cosmic vacuum cleaners. They can actually shine, in a way. When material spirals into them, it heats up, glowing brilliantly before vanishing. Some black holes launch jets of energy that shoot out across space, like cosmic lighthouses. So even in the darkest places, light and energy find a way to dance. Floating back from the black hole, let's think about time. We usually think of time as steady, like a river flowing forward. But space and time are actually linked, woven together into a single fabric called space-time. And that fabric can stretch, bend, and ripple. Imagine the fabric of space-time as a giant trampoline. Place a heavy ball in the center that's like a star or planet, and the trampoline dips. Now, if you roll a smaller ball near the edge, it spirals inward, pulled by the dip. That's gravity. But here's the cool part. If the trampoline is moving, stretching, or bending, it changes how time flows nearby. Near something very massive, time actually moves slower compared to farther away. Weird, right? But real. This means if you spent a day near a massive star or black hole, then came back to Earth, more time would have passed here than for you. It's called time dilation, and it's not science fiction. It's science fact. Now, imagine looking even further out, beyond our Milky Way, beyond the billions of galaxies we can see. What if there are other universes? Other bubbles of space and time, each with its own laws, its own stars, its own stories. This idea, called the multiverse, is still very speculative, but it sparks the imagination. What would it be like to drift from one universe to another? Would the colors of the stars change? Would the laws of physics dance to a different tune? It's a question that reminds us how vast and mysterious reality really is. Our universe might be one of many, an endless sea of cosmic bubbles, each born from its own Big Bang. So, here we are, floating in this immense, ever-expanding universe, made of stardust, shaped by gravity, lit by ancient light, and carried through time on the fabric of space-time itself. I hope you're feeling it now, the quiet awe of being part of something so grand, something that began from nothing and grew into everything. As we drift farther out, imagine the universe as a vast ocean, but instead of water, this ocean is filled with invisible threads, delicate strands of something called dark matter. We can't see it or touch it, but we know it's there because of the way it pulls on everything else. Think of dark matter like an unseen scaffold holding galaxies together. Without it, the stars and galaxies would fly apart, scattered like leaves in the wind. It's like a cosmic glue, invisible but powerful. Now, imagine reaching out your hand to grasp these invisible threads. You can't feel them with your skin, but your mind can sense the quiet strength weaving through space, holding vast clusters of galaxies in a gentle embrace. Dark matter is one of the universe's biggest mysteries. It doesn't shine, it doesn't glow, it doesn't reflect light. It's dark in the truest sense, yet it makes up about 27% of everything out there. Even stranger than dark matter is something called dark energy. This mysterious force seems to be pushing the universe to expand faster and faster. Imagine blowing up a balloon and suddenly the balloon starts inflating on its own, faster and faster, without you doing anything. Dark energy is the reason why galaxies are flying apart from each other at increasing speeds. It's a gentle but relentless force, driving the universe's growth like an unseen hand, stretching space itself. Imagine standing in a field watching distant fireworks slowly drift away from each other, speeding up as they vanish into the night. That's dark energy's quiet work. So, our universe is a mix of the things we can see: stars, planets, gas clouds and things we can't, dark matter and dark energy. Together, they shape the story of everything. Now, let's think about galaxies. Huge collections of stars, gas, dust, and dark matter, all spinning and swirling like celestial cities. Our own galaxy, the Milky Way, is a grand spiral with arms that stretch out like the arms of a great cosmic dancer. Imagine floating above one of those arms, watching the stars twinkle like city lights far below. Some stars are young and hot, glowing blue-white. Others are older, cooler, and redder, like cozy street lamps on a chilly night. Galaxies don't just sit still. They drift, sometimes collide, and even merge over millions of years. When galaxies crash together, stars rarely hit each other because space is so vast between them. Instead, the gas clouds and dust stir, sparking waves of star birth. Imagine two giant whirlpools slowly merging in a cosmic dance, spinning faster and creating bursts of light and new life. Our own Milky Way had a close encounter like this with a smaller galaxy called Sagittarius, which is slowly being absorbed. Over billions of years, galaxies grow by gobbling up others. It's messy, graceful, and endlessly fascinating. Now, imagine zooming all the way out, looking back at the universe as a whole. What do you see? A vast, dark canvas dotted with countless galaxies, each a glowing island of stars. The farther you look, the farther back in time you see because light takes time to travel. Looking deep into space is like looking into the past. Some of the galaxies we see are so far away that their light started traveling to us when the universe was just a baby. That's a glimpse back to the early chapters of this grand story. And what about us? We're here, on a tiny blue planet orbiting a modest star, in one quiet corner of one ordinary galaxy. Yet we carry the universe inside us in every atom, every breath, every beat of our hearts. Take a deep breath now. Imagine the vastness inside you and all around you at once. Now, as we hover here amid the stars, let's take a moment to think about time itself, not just as a measure of seconds or minutes, but as the grand storybook of the cosmos. Time began ticking the moment the Big Bang sparked into existence. Before that, well, it's a puzzle that even the smartest minds are still trying to piece together. Imagine time as a ribbon, stretching from the very first flicker of energy to this very moment. Each second, a thread woven into the fabric of everything. And here we are, part of that ribbon, our lives tiny stitches in an immense tapestry. It's wild to think that the atoms in your body were once part of ancient stars, some even billions of years old, long before Earth was formed. Imagine the journey those atoms took, born in the heart of a distant star, cast into space by a supernova's explosion, drifting for eons until they became part of you. Now, imagine you could shrink yourself down to the size of an atom, smaller than a speck of dust. You'd be tiny enough to ride on a photon, a particle of light, speeding across the universe at 186.0 miles per second. With it, you'd travel through space and time, witnessing light's journey from distant galaxies to your own eyes. This is what astronomers do, in a way. They catch photons from the farthest reaches of space, letting them tell stories of ancient times and places. Each photon is like a tiny messenger, carrying secrets across billions of years. And as we ride this photon, zooming through the cosmos, imagine the sights we'd see. We'd pass nebula-vast clouds of gas and dust, glowing softly with the light of newborn stars. Some look like cosmic paintings, with swirls of pinks, blues, and purples. These stellar nurseries are where stars are born, like babies emerging from a warm cradle. Picture drifting through the Orion Nebula, feeling the quiet hum of creation all around you. Stars forming, lighting up the darkness, each one a sun in the making, with the potential to host planets, life, maybe even stories like ours. Now, zoom further out to see clusters of galaxies, giant gatherings of hundreds or thousands of galaxies, all bound together by gravity. They swirl in a slow cosmic ballet, sometimes colliding and merging, their stars and gas mixing in an ancient dance. Imagine floating in the middle of one of these clusters. Around you, galaxies move like graceful dancers on a vast stage, their lights twinkling through the cosmic dark. In this dance, time feels different. The distances are so immense that even light takes millions of years to cross them. When we look at these galaxies, we're looking back through time, seeing them as they were long ago. Now, as you float in this cosmic sea, take a moment to feel the scale of it all. The vastness can be overwhelming, but there's a quiet beauty in knowing that we are part of it. Tiny, yes, but connected. Connected to every star, every galaxy, every flicker of light stretching across the universe. And here's something wonderful. This universe, born from a flicker of nothingness, has grown into a place where you and I can share stories, dreams, and quiet moments like this one. So let's keep floating, together, through this incredible journey. There's so much more waiting just beyond the next star. Picture now that photon we were riding, zipping through space at light speed. Even at this incredible speed, imagine how long it takes to cross the spaces between stars, between galaxies. The universe is not just big, it's unimaginably, mind-bogglingly huge. It's like trying to count grains of sand on every beach on Earth, then multiplying that by the number of beaches on every planet that might exist. And yet, all that vastness came from a single moment, a tiny point no bigger than the head of a pin, packed with energy so intense it's beyond imagining. Now, think about how that tiny point blossomed into everything you see when you look up at the night sky. Every star, every planet, every speck of dust floating in space began as a ripple in that primordial sea of energy. As we float here, let's zoom in a little closer, back to our home galaxy, the Milky Way. It's a majestic spiral, about 100 light-years across, filled with hundreds of billions of stars. Imagine soaring above the Milky Way's glowing arms, watching clouds of gas swirl like celestial smoke. Some of those clouds will one day collapse to form new stars, while others drift peacefully, waiting. Among those stars is our own sun, a modest, middle-aged star burning quietly in a neighborhood filled with planets and asteroids. Imagine orbiting the sun at the speed of light and looking back at it, seeing a bright, steady flame that's been shining for about 4.6 billion years. It's been our steady companion, warming Earth, powering life, lighting the days. Now, let's drift down toward Earth itself, a pale blue dot suspended in space. From here, you might hear the faint hum of oceans, the rustle of forests, and the soft whispers of winds. All of these sounds are part of a delicate symphony, played out on a planet perfectly positioned to host life. Picture yourself floating just above Earth's atmosphere, feeling the thin veil of air protecting this tiny oasis. Below you, continents drift slowly, mountains rise and fall, and clouds swirl in endless dance. And somewhere on this planet, life began first as simple, single-celled organisms in ancient seas, then slowly evolving over billions of years into the vast, complex tapestry of plants, animals, and eventually us. Imagine standing on the surface of that ancient Earth, feeling the warmth of the sun and the cool touch of wind, hearing the calls of creatures you can barely imagine. Now, zoom back out and imagine the Earth itself hurtling through space at an astonishing speed, about 67 miles per hour as it orbits the sun. All of this movement and life is part of the cosmic story, a story that began with that single flicker of energy, the Big Bang. Imagine the trillions of stars in the Milky Way, each with their own planets, some of which might harbor life. The possibilities stretch beyond anything we can truly grasp. As we float in this vast universe, you might notice the quiet stillness around you. Space is mostly empty, a dark ocean of silence. Yet, within this silence, the universe is alive with energy, motion, and the faint glow of distant stars. Sometimes, when you look up at the night sky, it might feel overwhelming, the endless black dotted with pinpricks of light, each one a sun, a story, a world. But it's also comforting. because it means we're part of something bigger, a never-ending journey through space and time. And here's a thought to carry with you. Every atom in your body has traveled across the universe, through stars and galaxies, over billions of years, to be here right now. So as we continue to drift through the cosmos, take a moment to feel that connection. The universe is not just out there, it's inside you. Now, as we float here, I want you to imagine something extraordinary, the universe itself as a living, breathing entity. Not in the way we think of living things, but in the way it constantly changes, evolves, grows, and unfolds. The universe has been stretching and expanding ever since that first flicker of the Big Bang, carrying galaxies like leaves on a vast, invisible river. Picture yourself as a tiny speck, floating alongside that river. Around you, the stars glimmer faintly like fireflies in a warm summer night, but those stars are not still. They're moving, swirling, dancing in a cosmic choreography dictated by gravity, energy, and time. Now, think about gravity, that invisible force that pulls everything together. It's the quiet artist shaping the universe, from the smallest grains of cosmic dust to the mightiest clusters of galaxies. Gravity is what gave birth to our sun and planets, what keeps your feet grounded here on Earth, and what orchestrates the delicate dance of moons and stars. Imagine reaching out your hand to grasp this invisible force. Though you can't touch it, you can feel its presence everywhere. It's the thread that weaves the cosmic tapestry, holding galaxies together and steering the paths of comets and asteroids. As we drift through space, imagine seeing the spiral arms of the Milky Way glowing softly against the darkness. Each arm brims with billions of stars, planets, and mysteries. The Milky Way is just one galaxy among billions, each one a bustling city of stars, full of life and stories waiting to be told. Now, let's zoom out even further beyond our Milky Way to the vast clusters and superclusters of galaxies. Picture a web of light stretching across the universe, threads of galaxies connected by invisible filaments of dark matter. This cosmic web is the skeleton of the universe, vast and intricate, like veins running through the night sky. Imagine floating in the middle of this web, surrounded by galaxies of all shapes and sizes, spirals spinning gracefully, ellipticals glowing with ancient stars, and irregular galaxies bursting with new star formation. As we float here, you might notice the silence of space again, but silence doesn't mean emptiness. Space is full of whispers, faint signals, bursts of energy, cosmic rays traveling across billions of light years. Imagine listening closely, and you might hear the echoes of ancient events, the distant roar of colliding black holes, the soft hum of cosmic microwave background radiation, the silent song of neutrinos passing through everything, even you. Now, let's drift closer to one of those mysterious black holes. Imagine the darkness there, so deep that not even light can escape. It's a place where gravity reigns supreme, pulling in everything that ventures too close. Picture yourself floating just outside the event horizon, the point of no return. You can't see the black hole itself, but you can feel its pull, like a current drawing you closer. The space around you is warped and strange. Time slows down, and the stars behind it twist and swirl in impossible ways. It's both terrifying and beautiful. The black hole is a gateway to mysteries beyond our understanding, a reminder of how much we still have to learn. Now, as we pull away, let's imagine the life cycle of stars again, how they're born in nebulae, live out their brilliant lives, and then either fade gently or explode in spectacular supernovae. These supernova explosions scatter the elements that build planets, life, and even us. Imagine those elements drifting through space, carried on cosmic winds, settling on new worlds, seeding the future. And speaking of worlds, imagine the countless planets scattered across the universe, some rocky and barren like Mars, some gas giants like Jupiter, and others possibly covered in oceans or lush forests. Each planet is a potential story, a canvas for life or the harshness of space. Imagine standing on the surface of an alien world, feeling an unfamiliar sky above, smelling strange winds, hearing unknown sounds. It's a moment of awe and wonder, connecting us to the endless possibilities of the cosmos. Now, take a deep breath. Feel the vastness of space around you, the endless stretches of time behind you, and the infinite futures ahead. We are travelers on this cosmic ocean, explorers of the grand story that began with the Big Bang and continues to unfold. Imagine now that you're no longer just a passive observer, but a cosmic voyager drifting freely through the ages, floating between stars and galaxies like a feather carried on a gentle breeze. There's no hurry here. Time stretches and folds in ways that feel both strange and familiar, and you can simply be weightless, silent, suspended in the grand ballet of the universe. Look around you. The stars are countless, each one a tiny sun lighting up a world of possibilities. Some stars are young and bright, sizzling with energy and promise. Others are old and wise, their light a soft glow that has traveled millions or even billions of years to reach you. Imagine watching these ancient lights flicker, each one a message sent across the void, telling stories of creation, survival, and sometimes spectacular endings. Now, imagine zooming in closer to one of these stars, our sun, for instance. Picture the warm glow that bathes our tiny planet, Earth. This star is more than just a glowing ball of gas. It's a giant furnace where hydrogen atoms fuse together, creating energy that travels outwards as sunlight and warmth. This sunlight powers the entire ecosystem of Earth, from the tiniest plankton to the tallest redwood tree, from the deserts to the deepest oceans. Feel the sun's gentle warmth on your skin, even from millions of miles away. It's a constant companion in the sky, reliable and life-giving. Imagine what Earth looks like from space, a fragile blue marble floating serenely in a sea of black, wrapped in a thin, shimmering veil of atmosphere. But Earth is just one small world among countless others. Imagine the diversity of planets out there, spinning silently in the darkness. Some are volcanic and storm-ravaged, others icy and distant from their suns, some possibly harboring oceans beneath frozen surfaces. The thought that somewhere out there, conditions might be just right for life, maybe even life like ours, is both humbling and thrilling. As you drift beyond our solar system, imagine the swirling clouds of gas and dust called nebulae. These are the cosmic nurseries where stars and planets are born. Picture huge, colourful clouds glowing softly under the light of newborn stars, shapes shifting slowly over millions of years. These clouds are both chaotic and beautiful, a messy workshop where gravity and pressure work together to create new suns and worlds. Feel the patience of the universe here. Time moves differently. What seems like a long wait to us is just a blink in the life of the cosmos. And yet, every moment matters. Every atom, every photon, every pulse of energy plays its part in the unfolding drama. Now, imagine drifting towards a massive cluster of galaxies, billions of stars and planets gathered in an enormous cosmic city. Galaxies themselves are like islands in the vast cosmic ocean, each with its own unique shape and story. Some are graceful spirals with arms that curl and twirl, others are massive elliptical blobs filled with ancient stars, and some look like chaotic splashes of light, still settling from past collisions. Imagine witnessing two galaxies slowly moving toward each other, pulled by gravity's invisible hand. Over millions of years, they will dance a slow, majestic waltz before finally merging, their stars mingling and mixing in a brilliant cosmic embrace. This is not destruction, but transformation. It's a reminder that even in the vastness of space, nothing ever truly stands still. As you float here, picture the invisible threads of dark matter weaving through the universe. Though you can't see it, this mysterious substance acts like a scaffold, holding galaxies together and shaping the large-scale structure of the cosmos. Imagine it as a delicate web, stretching across billions of light years, anchoring the visible universe in a hidden framework. Now, reach out again with your mind, and imagine what it feels like to be part of this cosmic dance, a small, shimmering point of awareness in an immense and ancient universe. You are connected to everything, to the stars, the galaxies, the dust, and the light. The atoms in your body were once part of stars, your thoughts powered by the energy born in the heart of the sun. Let yourself feel the wonder of this connection. Imagine it like a warm thread running through you, linking you to the cosmos and to every moment of time, from the Big Bang to now. And as you float here, notice how the universe continues to expand, carrying galaxies further apart, stretching space itself. Imagine this expansion as a slow, steady breath, the universe inhaling and exhaling across billions of years. But what will happen next? Will the universe keep expanding forever, growing colder and emptier? Or will gravity one day pull everything back together in a cosmic embrace? We don't know yet, but that's part of the adventure the mystery keeps inviting us to explore, to imagine, and to dream. So take a deep breath now. Feel yourself floating in the vast ocean of space and time, part of a story that began in nothingness and blossomed into everything we know and love. Now, as we drift onward, let your mind stretch wide to imagine the unimaginable scale of time and space we're moving through. The universe is older than any clock we have, older than history or memory. When you think about the Big Bang, remember it wasn't just a moment, it was the start of everything. Time, space, matter, energy all bursting forth together in a dance that still flows today. Picture yourself now moving through a vast, dark corridor between galaxies. Here, the emptiness is almost complete. Space is mostly a silent vacuum, with only a whisper of particles and radiation floating around. Imagine the sensation of silence so deep, it almost hums. This silence is not empty, it's full of potential, waiting for the next star to ignite, the next planet to form. As you glide through this cosmic void, imagine the slow, graceful movement of galaxies drifting apart. The space between them is growing, stretched out like a giant rubber band being pulled at both ends. And yet, within each galaxy, stars are bound tightly together, moving in intricate orbits around invisible centers, held in place by gravity's gentle grip. Think of gravity as the universe's invisible glue, subtle, patient, unyielding. It sculpts the cosmos in ways both gentle and dramatic. Gravity is what brings dust and gas together to form stars and planets. It governs the majestic orbits of planets around suns, moons around planets, and even the spiraling dance of entire galaxies. Imagine a single star's life story, from birth to death. It begins in a nebula, a cold, dark cloud of gas and dust. Picture these clouds slowly collapsing under gravity's pull, getting denser and hotter until nuclear fusion ignites in the star's core. This fusion is the star's heartbeat, turning hydrogen into helium, releasing light and warmth that travels across space. Now imagine that star aging, growing brighter and larger as it burns through its fuel. Some stars end their lives gently, shedding layers to form glowing shells of gas called planetary nebulae, leaving behind dense cores called white dwarfs. Others, the massive stars, die with a spectacular explosion, a supernova scattering elements across space, enriching the cosmic stew. Those scattered elements are the building blocks for new stars, planets, and eventually life itself. Imagine the cosmic recycling going on all around you, death and rebirth on a scale so vast it humbles the mind. Now, picture drifting into a quiet corner of a galaxy, perhaps the Milky Way, our home. Imagine seeing our sun, a modest yellow star, shining steadily. Orbiting it, tiny Earth spins slowly, a delicate oasis of life. Feel the gentle pull of Earth's gravity, the comforting warmth of the sun's rays, the whisper of winds, and the rhythm of tides pulled by the moon. This is a tiny island of life in the cosmic ocean. Imagine standing on a mountaintop under a night sky filled with stars, each one a sun, some with their own planets, maybe some with life. Look up and imagine the Milky Way stretching across the sky, a glowing river of stars, ancient and endless. Imagine how, for our ancestors, this light was a guide, a story, a mystery. Now imagine the passage of time here on Earth. Billions of years ago, the first simple life forms emerged in the oceans. Tiny, single-celled creatures that would eventually give rise to all the plants, animals, and people that ever lived. Imagine yourself shrinking down to microscopic size, floating through primordial oceans, witnessing the earliest sparks of life. Tiny cells dividing, evolving, adapting to their surroundings. The universe's complexity growing like a delicate snowflake, unique and intricate. Time flows forward, and life diversifies. Creatures crawl onto land, trees grow tall, animals evolve. Imagine the slow, patient unfolding of evolution, shaped by chance and necessity, creating a rich tapestry of living things. Now bring your attention back to the stars. Even as life on Earth evolved, the cosmos was changing too. Stars continued to be born and die. Galaxies collided and merged. Black holes lurked in the centers of galaxies, swallowing matter and warping space-time. Speaking of black holes, imagine drifting closer to one, They're mysterious, powerful, and strange. Picture a dark sphere surrounded by a glowing ring of gas and dust, spiraling in at incredible speeds. Feel the pull, the gravity so strong that even light can't escape. Imagine floating near the event horizon, the point of no return, where space itself curves steeply. Time slows down, light bends, the universe seems to ripple. Now, as you move away, imagine how black holes shape their surroundings, sometimes blasting jets of energy into space, influencing the formation of new stars and galaxies. They're like cosmic engines, hidden yet essential. Back in the vastness of space, galaxies continue their slow dance. Some are calm and ordered, others chaotic and tangled. Imagine witnessing a galactic collision, two giant islands of stars slowly merging over millions of years. Stars are mostly too far apart to collide, but the gravity warps and twists gas clouds, sparking bursts of star formation. Imagine the colors and lights of these cosmic fireworks, stretching across space and time. And through it all, the universe keeps expanding, growing colder and quieter on the largest scales. Imagine the future billions or trillions of years from now, when stars have burned out and galaxies fade into darkness. Yet, even in that distant future, the story continues. New mysteries, new wonders waiting to be discovered. Imagine yourself still here, as a silent witness, carrying the memory of the universe's incredible journey. As we glide through the endless cosmos, I want you to imagine the vastness again, but this time, think about how everything you see and feel is connected, woven together by invisible threads. Picture these threads as the cosmic web. It's an enormous, delicate network made of dark matter and gas, stretching across unimaginable distances. Galaxies are like sparkling jewels caught on this web, clustering in nodes where the strands intersect, while huge voids of almost empty space stretch between them. Imagine drifting along one of these strands, feeling the gentle pull of gravity drawing more and more matter together, gathering clouds of gas and dark matter like a spider spinning its web. These invisible forces are shaping the very skeleton of the universe, guiding the birth and growth of galaxies. Now, focus in closer on one of these galaxies forming on the cosmic web. Imagine a swirling whirlpool of stars, gas, and dust, all moving together in a grand dance. At the center, a massive black hole waits, quietly shaping the galaxy's life from the shadows. Imagine being small enough to ride on a comet as it arcs through the galaxy, zipping past shining stars, glowing nebulae, and dense star clusters. Feel the chill of space, the silence broken only by the faint hum of cosmic radiation. Sense the thrill of moving so fast, yet through a place so vast it can swallow whole galaxies. Now, as you zoom in closer still, imagine yourself standing on a rocky world orbiting a young star. The sky is different here, no familiar blue atmosphere, but a velvet black sprinkled with countless points of light. The star glows warmly in the distance, casting long shadows on the jagged terrain. Imagine the dust settling on your boots, the stillness around you, and the incredible thought that this lonely world is part of a universe born in that first flicker of light after the Big Bang. As the star ages, its light and warmth change. Maybe oceans form, or ice covers the poles. Imagine watching tiny changes over millions of years, mountains rising, valleys forming, winds blowing. This is the slow unfolding of planetary life. Now, imagine the extraordinary chance of life emerging here, tiny cells forming in shallow pools, growing and evolving through countless generations. Imagine the first flicker of awareness, the first spark of curiosity that will, one day, allow beings like you and me to ask, where did it all begin? Think back to that first moment of the Big Bang, the seed from which all this complexity sprouted. All the stars, planets, life, and thoughts are tied to that singular beginning. It's humbling and thrilling all at once. Let your mind wander now to the vast stretches of space, filled with the faint glow of ancient light, traveling billions of years to reach us. This light carries stories of galaxies long gone, stars that lived and died long ago. Imagine reading these stories with your eyes, decoding the whispers of the cosmos. Imagine yourself standing at a cosmic observatory, gazing out at the universe's earliest moments through the lens of a giant telescope. Feel the excitement of discovery, the joy of unlocking secrets hidden in light and time. Now imagine the future of exploration, humans stepping beyond Earth, traveling to distant worlds, sending probes to the edge of the solar system and beyond. Imagine standing on the surface of Mars, feeling the thin air, looking up at Earth as a tiny blue dot. Think of how small and precious that dot looks, a fragile home floating in the vast cosmic ocean. Let's drift back to the grand scale again, the full sweep of the universe expanding, stretching space-time itself. Imagine riding a wave of expansion, feeling the fabric of reality ripple beneath you, carrying galaxies farther apart, space growing ever larger. Imagine the universe's ultimate fate, whether it keeps expanding forever, cooling into a silent, dark place, or whether some unknown force will bring new surprises. Imagine the mysteries still waiting, just beyond our reach. For now, though, let's rest here in this moment, a brief pause in the endless story of the cosmos, where you and I share this quiet journey through space and time. As we linger in this vast expanse, let's take a moment to imagine the stars that came after those first giants. Over billions of years, stars grew smaller, cooler, and longer-lived. These second and third generation stars carried the elements forged in the explosive deaths of their ancestors, mixing them into new stellar nurseries. Imagine clouds of gas enriched with carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen, building blocks of life itself floating in space, waiting for gravity to gather them once again. Now, picture a new star igniting quietly in one of these clouds. Around it, swirling disks of dust and gas begin to spinning slowly, patiently. Imagine you're there, standing on a tiny grain of dust caught in this disk, feeling the gentle pull of the star's light and gravity as your little world orbits in the darkness. Over millions of years, these dust grains collide and stick together, growing larger and larger. Pebbles become boulders, boulders become planetesimals, and planetesimals become planets. Imagine being aboard one of these forming worlds, feeling the heat from collisions, the faint glow of the nearby young star, and the slow cooling of a surface that will one day host oceans and maybe life. Let's zoom in on one particular planet, the Earth. Imagine the chaotic early days, a molten world bombarded by asteroids, its surface a bubbling ocean of lava. Now feel the cooling crust hardening beneath your feet. Imagine the sky filled with thick, toxic gases, the sun a fiery ball in the hazy sky. Fast forward through time as the planet grows cooler, oceans form, and the first life-tiny, simple and resilient, begins to stir in the ancient seas. Imagine the slow, quiet pulse of life evolving, adapting, transforming the atmosphere bit by bit until the sky turns blue, the air breathable. Imagine walking through ancient forests, the air thick with the scent of green leaves and earth, the sky alive with creatures of every shape and sound. Imagine the rise of mammals, and eventually, the curious creatures that would look up at the stars and wonder. Now, take a moment and look up with me. Imagine the night sky, as it would have appeared to those early humans, brilliant and vast, each star a story, each constellation a guide. Imagine feeling connected to everything, as if the light you see has traveled across the eons just to reach your eyes, carrying the history of the universe. Picture yourself lying back on soft grass, feeling the cool night air, the quiet hum of life around you, and the gentle glow of the Milky Way stretching overhead like a ribbon of light. Now imagine this moment as part of an endless chain. Each person who has ever looked up, felt wonder, and asked questions, all linked through time by the stars above. And here we are, together, continuing that tradition, drifting through the cosmos, exploring the story of everything, from the first spark of the Big Bang to the endless possibilities of the future. There's so much more to discover, so many mysteries left to unravel. But for now, just breathe in this moment. Feel the universe inside you and around you. You are part of this story woven into the fabric of space and time itself. Imagine now that as the universe expands, something strange and invisible starts to play a bigger role. You can't see it or touch it, but you can feel its effects everywhere, holding galaxies together, shaping the large-scale structure of the cosmos. This mysterious presence is what scientists call dark matter. Imagine it like a silent, invisible spider web, stretching across space, catching galaxies and pulling on them with unseen fingers. Now, picture yourself drifting through a cluster of galaxies, each one swirling like a pinwheel of light and color. Stars stream in spirals, nebulae glow like ghostly clouds, and bursts of new star formation light up pockets of gas. You can sense the pull of dark matter as it binds these giants together, keeping them from flying apart despite their dizzying speeds. Imagine reaching out with your mind to grasp the invisible fabric holding galaxies together, a cosmic glue that doesn't shine or reflect light, but is everywhere. This dark matter shapes the universe's destiny just as much as the glowing stars you see. Now, zoom out further. The universe is not just expanding, it's accelerating. Imagine riding this wave of acceleration, feeling the fabric of space stretch faster and faster. Something else, even more mysterious than dark matter, is pushing everything apart. This force, called dark energy, is the universe's great unknown. Imagine it as a gentle but relentless wind, invisible but powerful, pushing galaxies away from each other with increasing speed. You might wonder, where is all this headed? Will the universe keep expanding forever, cooling into a silent, empty place? Or could it one day stop, collapse back, or transform in ways we can't yet imagine? For now, these questions linger like the soft echoes of a song half remembered. But let's not rush to the future just yet. Imagine yourself floating once again among the stars, looking back on the path the universe has traveled from nothing to everything, from chaos to order, from light to life. Feel the connection, the delicate thread that ties you to the first flicker of light after the Big Bang, to the ancient stars exploding in brilliant farewell, to the birth of galaxies and the slow dance of planets. You are part of this story. The atoms in your body, the breath you take, the thoughts you think, they all trace back to the universe's very beginning. And here, in this quiet moment, as we drift through space and time together, you can feel it, the endless wonder of existence, the profound mystery of being. Picture this. Billions of years have passed since the Big Bang's first light burst free from the cosmic fog. The universe has grown vast and complex, like a living tapestry woven from countless threads of stars, gas, dust, and the invisible forces we talked about. It's a place where galaxies dance intricate ballets, pulled and pushed by gravity and dark matter, swirling and colliding in slow motion. Imagine floating at the edge of a massive galaxy cluster. These clusters are like bustling cities of galaxies, each one home to billions of stars. Picture them as neighborhoods in a sprawling cosmic metropolis, with giant elliptical galaxies at the center, ancient, massive, glowing softly with the combined light of trillions of suns and spiral galaxies like our Milky Way orbiting around them. Now, imagine the space between these galaxies. It's not empty, but filled with hot, thin gas, a faint glowing plasma that stretches across millions of light years. This intracluster gas is so hot that it shines in X-rays, invisible to your eyes but glowing brightly if you had the right instruments. Feel the contrast between the cold, dark vacuum of space and this fiery sea, a reminder that the universe is full of extremes. As you drift closer to a spiral galaxy, imagine the graceful swirl of stars and clouds of gas in its arms. These arms are stellar nurseries, places where new stars are born from collapsing clouds of hydrogen and helium. Picture massive young stars shining bright in blue and white, their intense light carving out bubbles and cavities in the surrounding gas. Now zoom in even further, past the galaxy's dusty lanes and glittering clusters, until you reach a quiet corner where a star much like our sun shines gently. Around it, tiny rocky worlds orbit, some bathed in light, others cloaked in shadow. Imagine yourself shrinking down to stand on the surface of one of these planets. Feel the texture beneath your feet may be rocky and rough, or soft with sand or dust. Look up at the sky. Is it a burning orange from a close sun, a deep blue like Earth's, or a strange violet tinted by an alien atmosphere? Here, on this little speck, the conditions might be just right for something incredible. Life. Imagine the first flickers of life here, perhaps tiny microbes swimming in oceans or burrowing in warm soils. Imagine the slow, patient evolution, taking billions of years to transform simple cells into the dazzling diversity of creatures that might someday roam, swim, or fly. And through all of this, the universe continues to expand, carrying galaxies, stars, and planets farther apart. Imagine riding that expansion, feeling space itself stretching like a vast, invisible rubber band. It's a gentle pull, but constant reminding us that the universe is not static, not frozen, but alive and changing. Now, take a deep breath and imagine the full scale of this cosmic journey. From the tiniest particle flickering into existence at the moment of the Big Bang, through the birth and death of stars, the formation of galaxies, the rise of planets, and the emergence of life, all connected in an unbroken chain of cause and effect. Feel the wonder of being here now, a part of this incredible story. The atoms in your body have danced through stars and gas clouds, been part of countless cosmic events, and now find themselves arranged in this moment, listening to a quiet story about space and stars. Imagine this connection stretching across time and space, linking you to the very beginning of everything and to the endless future that awaits. And as we float together through this vast universe, remember, you are not just an observer, you are part of the universe's story. Your curiosity, your wonder, your very existence are woven into the fabric of space and time. So let's keep drifting. There's so much more to see, to feel, and to imagine. The universe is vast beyond words, and the story is still unfolding. One moment, one star, one discovery at a time. Imagine now, as we float further into the vast darkness, that you can hear something, a faint hum, the gentle whisper of the cosmos itself. It's not a sound in the usual sense because space is silent. But if you could feel the vibrations of gravity waves ripples in the fabric of space-time, you'd sense the echoes of colossal events, billions of years old. Picture two enormous black holes spiraling towards each other, locked in a gravitational dance so powerful it sends waves rippling across the universe. Imagine yourself drifting alongside these waves, feeling them gently pass through you like a breeze bending tall grass. It's a reminder that even in the silent vacuum, the universe has a rhythm and pulse. Now, focus on those black holes themselves, regions where gravity has become so intense that not even light can escape. Imagine approaching the edge of the event horizon, where the rules of reality start to blur. Picture light bending and stretching, time slowing down as you near this invisible boundary. You might expect a terrifying void, but instead, it's strangely beautiful abyss, glowing faintly with the light of gas and dust spiraling inward, heated to unimaginable temperatures. Imagine watching that brilliant, fiery whirlpool, a cosmic whirlpool pulling everything toward a secret no one can see. But black holes aren't just destructive monsters, they're also creators in disguise. Think about how, around some black holes, enormous jets of energy shoot out at near light speed, shaping galaxies and influencing star formation. Imagine these jets as cosmic lighthouses, sweeping across space and time, signaling the dynamic forces at play. Drifting away now, imagine traveling through a vast nebula stellar nursery made of glowing gas and dust. These clouds shimmer in colors you can almost taste, soft pinks from hydrogen, deep blues from oxygen, and fiery reds from sulfur. Imagine the smell if you could breathe here, sharp, like ozone mixed with the scent of rain on hot stone. Inside this nebula, gravity works its magic again, pulling clouds of gas into tighter and tighter knots until stars ignite. Picture clusters of young stars bursting forth, their light sculpting the nebula into intricate shape spillers, waves, and bubbles that look like cosmic sculptures. Now, let your mind drift to the long, slow journey from star birth to planetary formation. Around many stars, disks of dust and rock circle like giant, invisible racetracks. Imagine tiny particles colliding, sticking together, growing bigger and bigger over millions of years until planets take shape. Visualize yourself standing on a newborn planet, watching its star rise for the very first time. The sky is unfamiliar, the air, if any, is thin and strange. The ground beneath you may be cracked and fiery, the result of volcanic fury as the young planet cools and solidifies. And yet, from this chaotic beginning, conditions can become just right for life. Imagine oceans forming from melted ice, steam turning to rain, and the first simple molecules beginning to assemble into more complex ones. Picture lightning flashes stirring chemical soups, the raw ingredients for life swirling in primordial pools. This slow dance of chemistry and chance leads to the first living celestini, fragile, miraculous sparks of life. Imagine those earliest organisms, single-celled and invisible to the naked eye, yet the ancestors of everything alive today. Now, drift forward with me through time. Life evolves, grows, adapts, and transforms the world around it. Imagine the first plants turning sunlight into energy, the first animals crawling from the sea, and eventually, creatures walking upright, gazing back at the stars we've been visiting together. All of this stars, planets, life emerged from that initial moment of the Big Bang. A single point where space, time, energy, and matter burst forth, setting the stage for everything we know and everything we've yet to discover. And here you are, floating through this grand cosmic story, connected in ways deeper than you can imagine. So take a moment, feel the weight and wonder of being part of this universe's incredible journey. As we drift onward, imagine the silent march of galaxies. Picture them as immense cities of stars, swirling gracefully in shapes both elegant and wild. Some look like spinning pinwheels, arms spiraling outward like cosmic dancers twirling through endless space. Others are rounded and smooth, like giant cosmic bubbles glowing softly in the darkness. You might imagine zooming closer to one of these galaxies, a spiral one, maybe like our own Milky Way. As you approach, notice the delicate glow of billions of stars sparkling like a sea of fireflies. Imagine drifting past glowing star clusters, vast clouds of gas ready to birth new stars, and ancient stars shining quietly, their light a memory of countless years. Now, think about how galaxies don't just sit still. They're moving, slowly, often colliding and merging over billions of years. Imagine two giant galaxies, like cosmic ships, slowly drifting toward each other, their stars weaving a complex ballet. At times they might crash, sending waves of star formation, igniting brilliant bursts of light and energy. Then, over time, they settle into a new shape, a new dance, continuing their journey through space. Our own galaxy is on such a path, destined to meet the neighboring Andromeda galaxy in a distant future. Imagine watching this slow cosmic approach, over millions of years the stars gradually blending, new shapes forming, and new possibilities emerging. But galaxies are not just beautiful, they're the places where everything we know takes shape. Inside their glowing arms, stars are born, live their fiery lives, and die, scattering their ashes into space. From this recycled material, new stars, planets, and maybe even life arise. Now, let's turn inward again, toward the small, fragile blue planet orbiting a modest star in one of those spiral arms, Earth. Imagine yourself floating just above the surface, looking down at swirling clouds, vast oceans, and sprawling continents. Imagine how, over billions of years, Earth's surface changed volcanoes shaping mountains, ice ages freezing oceans, and rivers carving valleys. This ever-changing landscape is the stage for life's unfolding drama. Feel the pulse of time here, not like the quick beat of a city's hustle, but the slow, patient rhythm of deep geological epochs. And right here, on this little blue dot, complexity blossomed. Life's simple beginnings grew into intricate webs of plants, animals, and ecosystems. Imagine the first forests rising, the first creatures taking to the skies, and eventually, beings capable of looking back at the stars and wondering about their place in the cosmos. You might even imagine standing beneath a night sky, just as humans have done for millennia, tracing the patterns of stars and dreaming of what lies beyond. And all of this, from the grandest galaxies to the tiniest cells, comes back to that first moment. The Big Bang wasn't just the start of space and time, it was the beginning of possibility itself. So, as we float here in the vastness, I invite you to imagine reaching out to grasp the invisible threads that connect everything: time, space, matter, energy, life, and consciousness. You and I, the stars and galaxies, the planets and atoms are all part of this unfolding story, written across billions of years and countless light years of space. Imagine now the gentle rhythm of cosmic time ticking by, not the kind of ticking you hear with your ears, but the steady unfolding of moments stretching across billions of years. The universe is growing older, larger, cooler, and more complex. Its story, once just a spark, is now a sprawling epic written across the heavens. Look out as we glide through a sea of stars, some young and fiery, others old and fading. Imagine them like characters in a vast, ongoing play, each with its own story, its own beginning, middle, and end. Some stars live fast and bright, burning with a fierce intensity before collapsing in dramatic supernovae. Others are steady and slow, glowing quietly for billions of years. Picture the supernovae, now the spectacular deaths of massive stars. These cosmic fireworks light up the surrounding space, sending shockwaves that stir up clouds of gas and dust. Imagine those clouds trembling, ready to collapse and give birth to the next generation of stars and planets. It's a cycle of death and rebirth, destruction and creation, happening on a scale that makes human time feel like a blink. And within this cycle, new worlds emerge. Planets form from the swirling disks of gas and dust around newborn stars. Imagine these planets as cradles of possibility, some cold and barren, others warm and welcoming. Each one holds the potential for its own unique story. Think about how some of these worlds might have oceans, atmospheres, and the right conditions for life. Imagine the first flickers of life on a distant planet, simple cells swimming in primordial seas, the very first sparks of biology kindling in the dark. Now, shift your focus back to our own Earth, a rare and precious gem in this vast cosmic ocean. Imagine its history unfolding: volcanoes, earthquakes, oceans rising and falling, continents drifting slowly like giant ships across the globe. Feel the slow march of evolution, shaping life from simple beginnings to incredible diversity. Imagine the first plants pushing up from the soil, covering the land with green. The first animals crawling, swimming, and eventually flying through the skies. Picture the moment when early humans first looked up at the stars, their minds filled with wonder and questions. They saw the night sky as a vast mystery, a canvas of lights that sparked stories, myths, and science. And here we are now, descendants of those stargazers, able to peer deep into space and back in time. With telescopes and probes, we reach out to understand the universe's story, learning more about that original Big Bang every day. Imagine yourself holding a telescope or watching a rocket launch. Feel the excitement and curiosity fueling these efforts. We are explorers, continuing the journey that began billions of years ago. So as we drift here, suspended between the stars, take a moment to feel the incredible connection you have to everything around you. The atoms in your body, the stars above, the vastness of space and time, they're all part of this one beautiful, unfolding story. As we continue our journey, imagine the vastness of space stretching endlessly in every direction. It's a darkness filled not with emptiness but with possibility, a silent ocean where galaxies drift like ships on an infinite sea. The scale of it all is almost impossible to grasp. You might feel tiny, but in this vastness, that tiny part is also a precious fragment of something magnificent. Now, imagine floating alongside a galaxy, much like our own Milky Way. Picture its grand spiral arms curving gracefully, filled with countless stars, nebulae, and clouds of gas and dust. As you drift near, you notice bright clusters of newborn stars, their intense light piercing through the surrounding darkness. You feel a gentle warmth from these stellar nurseries, as if the universe itself is breathing life into these fresh stars. Beyond those nurseries, ancient stars glow softly, their light a pale echo of countless ages. Each star has a story. Some are just waking up, others are nearing the end of their lives. Imagine how the universe is a vast tapestry woven from these stories, each one connected by invisible threads of gravity and time. Gravity, that quiet sculptor of the cosmos, pulls everything together, shaping the universe on the grandest scales. Picture it like an invisible web stretching across space, holding galaxies, stars, and planets in a delicate balance. Without gravity, nothing would hold together. The galaxies wouldn't spin, the stars wouldn't shine, and planets like Earth would simply drift apart. Feel this invisible force as you float alongside a cluster of galaxies. They're not scattered randomly, but gathered in groups, bound by gravity's embrace. These clusters are the universe's cities, bustling hubs where galaxies interact, sometimes colliding and merging, sparking bursts of star formation and reshaping the cosmic landscape. Now, think about time, not the ticking seconds on a clock, but cosmic time, stretching billions of years like a slow river. Imagine watching a movie of the universe sped up, seeing galaxies form, collide, and evolve in mere moments. What seems frozen in the night sky is actually a dance of motion and change on an unimaginable scale. Zoom in closer to one of those galaxies and imagine a planet orbiting a young star. This planet is bathed in soft starlight, its skies painted with colors from its atmosphere. Perhaps it has swirling clouds, vast oceans, or deserts stretching to distant horizons. Imagine the gentle sway of waves on an alien shore, or the whisper of wind through strange forests. On this planet, life might be just beginning. Imagine the first simple cells forming in warm pools, tiny sparks of biology flickering to life. Over time, these cells multiply, evolve, and diversify. Life finds a way to grow, adapt, and thrive even in the harshest conditions. Now, imagine yourself as a tiny organism swimming in primordial seas, sensing the warmth of the sun through the water above. You feel the pull of tides, the rhythm of day and night, the slow changes of seasons. Life here is fragile but persistent, a testament to the resilience woven into the fabric of the universe. Shift your focus again to Earth. Over billions of years, this planet has seen dramatic changes: supercontinents forming and breaking apart, ice ages covering the land in glaciers, volcanic eruptions reshaping the landscape. Life has evolved from simple bacteria to complex creatures, towering trees, colorful birds, mighty mammals. Imagine standing in a prehistoric forest, the air thick with the scent of pine and damp earth. Giant ferns and towering trees surround you, and distant calls of strange creatures echo through the mist. This is a world both familiar and alien, a stage set for life's great drama. Fast forward through time, and picture early humans stepping onto the scene. Imagine their first firelight flickering in the darkness, the warmth and safety it brings. Imagine their eyes lifting to the stars, wondering, questioning, dreaming. Those early stargazers began the journey we continue today, seeking to understand our place in the universe. Through countless generations, humans developed tools, built observatories, launched rockets, and sent probes beyond the solar system. We have reached out to touch the stars, and in doing so, we have glimpsed the story of the cosmos itself. Imagine watching the Earth from space, a fragile blue marble hanging in the vast darkness, its atmosphere glowing softly. From this perspective, borders vanish, and the unity of life becomes clear. The universe feels less distant and more like home. As we float here, suspended between stars, it's humbling to remember that every atom in your body was once inside a star. Every breath you take contains elements forged in stellar furnaces billions of years ago. You are, quite literally, a child of the stars. So take a deep breath, feel the connection. The universe's story is also your story. It began in the fiery furnace of the Big Bang, and it continues with every moment you live. Now, imagine drifting slowly away from that fragile blue marble, the Earth hand, moving outward toward the sun. Our star, a glowing ball of plasma, blazing with energy, a kind of cosmic furnace that makes life on Earth possible. The sun is a middle-aged star, about 4.6 billion years old, sitting comfortably in the middle of its life, burning hydrogen deep inside its core. Picture its surface bubbling and boiling, with huge storms and flares sending bursts of energy streaming out into space. Sometimes, these bursts create dazzling auroras on Earth, those shimmering curtains of green and purple light dancing across the polar skies. Imagine standing beneath those lights, feeling the quiet magic of a star's breath reaching down to touch the planet. Now, let's zoom out just a bit more. Surrounding the sun are 8 planets, each unique worlds of rock, gas, ice, or a mix. Mercury, the closest, a scorched and cratered world. Venus, shrouded in thick clouds that trap heat like a cosmic oven. Mars, the red planet, with dry riverbeds and giant volcanoes whispering tales of a wetter past. Beyond Mars lie the gas giants, Jupiter, the largest of them all, with its swirling storms and dozens of moons, and Saturn, famous for its magnificent rings that glitter like cosmic jewelry. Imagine floating near Saturn's rings, feeling the icy particles that form them, ranging from tiny dust specks to chunks the size of houses. Picture them colliding gently, shifting and flowing like a slow-motion ballet, choreographed by gravity. Beyond Saturn, the cold outer planets Uranus and Neptune spin in their distant orbits, mysterious blue-green worlds with winds so fierce they blow faster than any hurricane on Earth. Imagine standing on the edge of one of Neptune's moons, looking out into the blackness and feeling the immense silence of space, broken only by the faint glimmer of distant stars. But our solar system is just a tiny neighborhood, in one of the billions of galaxies scattered across the universe. Let's drift back to the Milky Way, our cosmic home. Picture its spiral arms again, massive star cities connected by glowing lanes of gas and dust. Inside these arms, stars form and die, and new worlds are born from the ashes. Imagine moving closer to one of those arms, where dense clouds of gas collapse under gravity's pull, sparking starbirth. See the light of newborn stars breaking through dark clouds like candles flickering in a storm. These stellar nurseries are chaotic, noisy places filled with jets of material shooting into space and intense ultraviolet light reshaping the surrounding gas. In one of these clouds, somewhere in the spiral arms, a new solar system begins to take shape. A spinning disk of gas and dust slowly gathers into clumps, growing larger and larger until they become planets, moons, and asteroids. Picture dust particles sticking together like cosmic snowballs, rolling downhill to build bigger rocks. Imagine being tiny, smaller than a grain of sand, riding on one of those dust particles as it spirals toward the newborn star at the center. You watch the star's light flicker and shine, warming the dust and ice, driving chemical reactions that will one day form the building blocks of life. Now, the young star shines brightly, its newborn planets swirling in orbit. Some are scorched by the star's intense radiation, others remain cold and distant. Picture one planet, just the right distance away, neither too hot nor too cold. Water might be liquid here, covering vast oceans or hidden beneath icy crusts. Think about the chemistry brewing on that planet. Carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen elements brought together in just the right way to spark something extraordinary, the first signs of life. Tiny molecules begin to dance, forming more complex chains, eventually leading to self-replicating molecules, the first whispers of biology. Imagine the thrill of being a tiny molecule, joining together with others in the warm pools of a primordial ocean, your bonds building the foundation of all future living things. It's slow, quiet work, but it's the beginning of a grand experiment that will unfold over billions of years. Let's zoom out again. Life on that planet begins to evolve and diversify, adapting to changing condition sheet, cold, radiation, chemical shifts. Over time, simple organisms grow more complex, developing membranes, nuclei, and eventually specialized functions. Some develop the ability to photosynthesize, capturing the star's energy and converting it into chemical fuel. This process pumps oxygen into the planet's atmosphere, slowly transforming the world. Imagine floating above those ancient seas, watching as oxygen bubbles to the surface and the skies shift from murky to clear. This oxygen breathes life into new possibilities. Fast forward a billion years or more, life has exploded into a kaleidoscope of forms: single-celled organisms, multicellular plants and animals, strange creatures exploring land, sea, and sky. Imagine walking through a lush prehistoric forest, the air thick with humidity and the calls of early amphibians and insects. And then, finally, there's us, humans, a species that has looked to the stars with wonder and curiosity since our earliest days. Imagine sitting around a campfire with your ancestors, telling stories about the lights above, weaving myths and legends that echo our deep connection to the cosmos. Over time, we learned to read the sky's rhythm-striking seasons, predicting eclipses, charting the motions of planets and stars. We built tools to see further, telescopes that revealed the vastness of space and the history written in light. We sent machines to explore the solar system and beyond, reaching places no one could visit in person. Now, imagine standing on the surface of the moon. Earth rises above the horizon, a vibrant blue and white orb hanging in the blackness of space. The view is breathtaking, a reminder of our planet's fragility and the vastness that surrounds us. From here, our gaze extends to distant galaxies. Imagine looking at a spiral galaxy, its arms filled with stars and clouds of gas glowing softly. That light has traveled millions of years to reach your eyes, telling a story from long ago. As you watch, think about the scale of time and space. The Big Bang was not just a beginning, it's a continuing story of change, growth, and discovery. Every atom in your body was born in the heart of a star. Every breath carries the legacy of cosmic history. The universe is vast, mysterious, and beautiful, inviting us to explore, learn, and imagine. And though we are small, we are part of it all, stardust made conscious, looking back at the cosmos that made us. So, as we drift here together in the quiet dark, remember this: the Big Bang was not just a moment in time. It was the start of a journey that continues with every star that shines, every planet that spins, and every one of us who looks up and wonders. Let's stay a little longer in this calm, peaceful space, feeling connected to the universe and to each other, part of an endless story unfolding across time and space. As we linger here in this serene expanse, I want you to feel something quite remarkable: the stillness of space itself. You might expect space to be filled with noise, with the crackle of stars or the whoosh of galaxies spinning, but instead, it is mostly silence. Imagine Thetan, almost perfect quiet that stretches for millions and billions of miles. No sound waves can travel here, no whisper or shout. Yet, in this silence, the universe speaks in light and gravity, and the gentle pull of invisible forces. Picture yourself floating, weightless, surrounded by a sea of stars, each star a blazing sun, some smaller and cooler, others larger and fiercer. Now imagine the tiny photon packets of light that have traveled across these vast distances just to meet your eyes. You are, in a way, standing at the end of an incredible journey that started billions of years ago, at the Big Bang itself. Let's drift closer to one of those distant stars. It's different from our sun, older and cooler, but it holds a special kind of magic. Around it swirl planets, some rocky, some gaseous, some maybe with hidden oceans beneath icy crusts. Imagine standing on the surface of one such planet, the sky painted with unfamiliar constellations, the star above casting a gentle glow. You breathe in an atmosphere unlike Earth's, perhaps tinged with strange gases or rich with the scent of alien minerals. This planet, like Earth, is a tiny speck in the cosmos, but it's alive with potential. Maybe life has taken root here, in forms we can barely imagine, creatures adapted to the light of a red dwarf star, or plants growing in colors beyond our rainbow. Imagine reaching out your hand to touch a leaf that glows softly in the twilight, feeding on the faint star's light. As we pull away from this distant world, let's consider the grand tapestry of galaxies. You might picture them as islands in a vast cosmic ocean. Each galaxy contains hundreds of billions of stars, and countless worlds orbiting those stars. Some galaxies are peaceful and spiral gracefully, others are chaotic, colliding and merging in slow, magnificent dances. Imagine witnessing one of these galactic collisions. Two immense clouds of stars and dust slowly approach each other, drawn by gravity's invisible hand. At first, they seem to pass gently, like dancers weaving through a crowded ballroom. But then their arms twist and tangle, stars are flung into new orbits, gas clouds collapse into bursts of star formation, and the galaxies begin to merge into one larger, new entity. Now, picture yourself floating in the midst of this cosmic ballet. You feel the pull of gravity everywhere, stretching and squeezing the very fabric of space. You watch as new stars ignite in brilliant bursts, lighting the darkness like fireworks. This is a slow-motion spectacle that takes millions of years to unfold, but to you, time feels suspended, an eternal moment in the vastness. As we continue our journey, let's turn our attention to the mysterious dark side of the universe, the unseen forces shaping everything. Imagine reaching out to touch the invisible threads of dark matter, a mysterious substance that doesn't shine or absorb light, yet holds galaxies together. It's like a ghostly scaffold beneath the cosmos, silently pulling on stars and gas, keeping the universe's structure intact. Think about this. Most of the universe is made of stuff we cannot see directly. Dark matter and dark energy, strange and elusive, dominate the cosmos, dictating how galaxies move and how the universe expands. Imagine the universe as a vast, glowing balloon filled not just with visible stars, but also with this mysterious invisible matter, stretching and growing faster every moment. Now, as we drift into the deeper past, imagine traveling back in time to when the universe was younger, hotter, and denser. Imagine the entire cosmos compressed into a space smaller than a grain of sand, glowing with energy so intense it's almost unimaginable. Time itself behaves differently here. Past and future blend, and the rules we know begin to blur. Picture the first moments after the Big Bang like a cosmic symphony starting with a single note. then building into a complex harmony. Tiny ripples in this fiery sea become the seeds for everything galaxies, stars, planets, and life. Imagine those ripples as gentle waves on an ocean, their peaks and troughs guiding the future shapes of the universe. Now, come back to the present with me, drifting calmly through the cosmic ocean. Look up at the night sky, wherever you are on Earth. Those twinkling points of light are more than just stars. They are stories of creation, of destruction, of endless change. Every star you see is a chapter in the universe's ongoing narrative. Imagine if you could listen closely, what would the stars say? They might tell tales of violent births in swirling nebulae, of peaceful ages shining steadily, of fiery deaths scattering their essence across space. And somewhere in that story is you, a listener, a part of this grand cosmic tale. As our journey winds down for now, take a moment to breathe deeply and feel the vastness around you. Remember that you are made of the same stuff as stars, that the atoms in your body traveled through time and space to arrive here, right now. As we linger here in this serene expanse, I want you to feel something quite remarkable, the stillness of space itself. You might expect space to be filled with noise, with the crackle of stars or the whoosh of galaxies spinning, but instead, it is mostly silence. Imagine Thetan, almost perfect quiet that stretches for millions and billions of miles. No sound waves can travel here, no whisper or shout. Yet in this silence, the universe speaks in light and gravity and the gentle pull of invisible forces. Picture yourself floating, weightless, surrounded by a sea of stars. Each star a blazing sun, some smaller and cooler, others larger and fiercer. Now imagine the tiny photon packets of light that have traveled across these vast distances just to meet your eyes. You are, in a way, standing at the end of an incredible journey that started billions of years ago at the Big Bang itself. Let's drift closer to one of those distant stars. It's different from our sun, older and cooler, but it holds a special kind of magic. Around it swirl planets, some rocky, some gaseous, some maybe with hidden oceans beneath icy crusts. Imagine standing on the surface of one such planet, the sky painted with unfamiliar constellations, the star above casting a gentle glow. You breathe in an atmosphere unlike Earth's, perhaps tinged with strange gases or rich with the scent of alien minerals. This planet, like Earth, is a tiny speck in the cosmos, but it's alive with potential. Maybe life has taken root here in forms we can barely imagine, creatures adapted to the light of a red dwarf star, or plants growing in colors beyond our rainbow. Imagine reaching out your hand to touch a leaf that glows softly in the twilight, feeding on the faint star's light. As we pull away from this distant world, let's consider the grand tapestry of galaxies. You might picture them as islands in a vast cosmic ocean. Each galaxy contains hundreds of billions of stars and countless worlds orbiting those stars. Some galaxies are peaceful and spiral gracefully, others are chaotic, colliding and merging in slow, magnificent dances. Imagine witnessing one of these galactic collisions. Two immense clouds of stars and dust slowly approach each other, drawn by gravity's invisible hand. At first, they seem to pass gently, like dancers weaving through a crowded ballroom. But then their arms twist and tangle. Stars are flung into new orbits. Gas clouds collapse into bursts of star formation, and the galaxies begin to merge into one larger, new entity. Now, picture yourself floating in the midst of this cosmic ballet. You feel the pull of gravity everywhere, stretching and squeezing the very fabric of space. You watch as new stars ignite in brilliant bursts, lighting the darkness like fireworks. This is a slow-motion spectacle that takes millions of years to unfold, but to you, time feels suspended, an eternal moment in the vastness. As we continue our journey, let's turn our attention to the mysterious dark side of the universe, the unseen forces shaping everything. Imagine reaching out to touch the invisible threads of dark matter, a mysterious substance that doesn't shine or absorb light, yet holds galaxies together. It's like a ghostly scaffold beneath the cosmos, silently pulling on stars and gas, keeping the universe's structure intact. Think about this. Most of the universe is made of stuff we cannot see directly. Dark matter and dark energy, strange and elusive, dominate the cosmos, dictating how galaxies move, and how the universe expands. Imagine the universe as a vast, glowing balloon filled not just with visible stars, but also with this mysterious invisible matter, stretching and growing faster every moment. Now, as we drift into the deeper past, imagine traveling back in time to when the universe was younger, hotter, and denser. Imagine the entire cosmos compressed into a space smaller than a grain of sand, glowing with energy so intense it's almost unimaginable. Time itself behaves differently here. Past and future blend, and the rules we know begin to blur. Picture the first moments after the Big Bang like a cosmic symphony, starting with a single note, then building into a complex harmony. Tiny ripples in this fiery sea become the seeds for everything: galaxies, stars, planets, and life. Imagine those ripples as gentle waves on an ocean, their peaks and troughs guiding the future shapes of the universe. Now, come back to the present with me, drifting calmly through the cosmic ocean. Look up at the night sky, wherever you are on Earth. Those twinkling points of light are more than just stars. They are stories. Stories of creation, of destruction, of endless change. Every star you see is a chapter in the universe's ongoing narrative. Imagine if you could listen closely, what would the stars say? They might tell tales of violent births in swirling nebulae, of peaceful ages shining steadily, of fiery deaths scattering their essence across space. And somewhere in that story is you, a listener, a part of this grand cosmic tale. As our journey winds down for now, take a moment to breathe deeply and feel the vastness around you. Remember that you are made of the same stuff as stars, that the atoms in your body traveled through time and space to arrive here, right now. The universe is not just out there, it's within us all. And the Big Bang was just the beginning of a story we continue to write together. Want me to keep going deeper into the cosmic tale? Du sagst. How much? And continue. ChatGPT Sada. So far, the entire script you have is roughly around 7 words. The goal is 25 words total, so we still have about 18 words to go. I'll continue now, expanding the story more deeply with vivid imagery, and inviting you further into the cosmic experience. As we float in this vast ocean of stars and galaxies, let's imagine something truly breathtaking, a journey to the very edge of the observable universe. Picture a glowing sphere surrounding us, about 93 billion light-years across. That's how far our telescopes can see, the furthest light that has reached us since the Big Bang. Now, reach out your mind's eye and imagine traveling outward, past familiar constellations, through the Milky Way's swirling arms. You glide past neighboring galaxies, the Andromeda Galaxy, shining like a distant lantern, and the small and large Magellanic Clouds, faint wisps of light. These are our neighbors, but beyond them lies a crowd of countless other galaxies, some solitary, some packed in clusters, each filled with billions of stars. Imagine the silence of the void between these islands. Vast emptiness where hardly anything exists. Yet every now and then, you catch a glimpse of faint gas clouds, the birthplaces of future stars, like cradles rocking gently in the darkness. And through all this, the universe is expanding, the space between galaxies stretching like taffy, pulled slowly but relentlessly. Now, imagine the universe as a great storybook, each galaxy a page filled with countless tales. Some pages tell of fierce starbursts, cosmic fireworks where stars explode into existence faster than you can count. Others whisper secrets of ancient stars burning quietly, slowly aging and preparing for their final glorious moments. As we drift past these galaxies, picture yourself looking back. Behind you is a faint glow, the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the Big Bang itself. It's like a soft whisper from the universe's infancy, telling us where we came from and how everything began. Now, let's zoom into a single star system within one of those distant galaxies. Picture a sun-like star, its light warm and golden. Around it, a family of planets orbit in a delicate dance, each unique in size, color, and atmosphere. Imagine the smallest of these planets, rocky and rugged, its surface pocked with craters and dust. Imagine the largest, a swirling gas giant with thick clouds and mighty storms raging in brilliant bands. Imagine the sensation of standing on the surface of one of these alien worlds. The sky might be a strange color, perhaps a deep violet or a soft green, with multiple moons casting shadows. You feel the strange gravity, lighter or heavier than Earth's, pulling at your body in unfamiliar ways. The wind might carry smells and sounds unlike anything you've ever known. And as you stand there, look up at the sky and see not just one sun, but a galaxy glowing faintly beyond, a reminder of the vastness you are part of. Now, imagine stepping off that planet and into a spaceship of pure thought, soaring faster than light toward one of the universe's most mysterious objects, a black hole. You approach the edge, called the event horizon, a boundary beyond which nothing escapes. Imagine looking into this dark abyss. It's not just a hole, it's a place where space and time twist into strange shapes, where gravity pulls with unimaginable force. Imagine drifting close, feeling the stretching and squeezing of space itself, tidal forces pulling you gently, then fiercely, as you cross the threshold. Time slows for you. Minutes stretch into hours, hours into years. Yet outside, the universe races on. As you pass through, imagine the eerie silence, the darkness so complete it seems to absorb even light itself. But beyond this, imagine emerging into another region of space, a wormhole, a bridge connecting distant parts of the cosmos, bending the rules of physics. Now, imagine the possibilities. Could you travel instantly to a galaxy billions of light years away? Could you see the birth of stars, or the collapse of massive clouds from a new perspective? This is the stuff of dreams and mysteries, the edges of our understanding, and the frontier of future discoveries. As we continue floating, think about the cycles of creation and destruction happening everywhere. Stars ignite, shine, and die. Galaxies collide and merge. Planets form, and sometimes, just sometimes, life emerges. And here, in this cosmic sea, you are both an observer and a participant. The atoms in your body were born in ancient stars. The molecules you breathe were formed in the hearts of galaxies. The story of the universe is also your story. Imagine for a moment that you are stardust made conscious, a fleeting spark of awareness in a universe billions of years old. And though tiny, your curiosity stretches to the edges of space and time, just like the universe itself. So, as we drift now in the calm of space, feeling the gentle pulse of galaxies and stars, let's pause and reflect. The Big Bang was not just a beginning, it was an invitation. An invitation to explore, to imagine, to wonder. And so here we are, floating quietly in the vastness of everything, a universe born from a flicker of nothing, now full of light, life, and endless mystery. The Big Bang wasn't just a moment, it was the first breath in a story that stretches across billions of years, reaching right up to you, right now. As you settle back into your own space, remember that the cosmos isn't out there somewhere, far away and unreachable. It's here, woven into your very being, a timeless dance of matter, energy, and possibility. Every star you see, every gentle glow in the night sky, is a reminder that we are part of something vast and beautiful. So, when you look up next time, whether it's a clear night or a city sky blurred by lights, know this: the universe is still expanding, still growing, still whispering its secrets. And you're invited to listen, to wonder, and to dream. Thank you for joining me on this journey back to the very beginning and beyond. Until next time, keep your curiosity alive, and may the stars always light your way.